Nationwide News Network. Comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Nora Gay Banton.
And I'm Shalois Michael.
In Nationwide News at this hour, 32 people now confirmed dead due to Hurricane Melissa, but that number is expected to increase in days.
The official death toll as we speak is now 32. There are 8 other cases that are unconfirmed.
Government warns of the circulation of a false Hurricane Grant message.
Starlink systems are to be distributed in the coming days, including to government agencies responsible for hurricane relief.
The opposition says professionals should take over the leadership of Jamaica's Hurricane Melissa disaster response.
And that should be led, in my opinion, by professionals in disaster management, not by politicians.
At least 77 flights with hurricane relief aid have landed in the island so far.
In news from the rest of the world, death threats made against St. Vincent Prime Minister.
Trump administration will tap emergency fund to pay partial food stamp benefits.
In headline sports, one of the world's greatest track and field coaches dies at 91 after a long battle with cancer.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, the death toll from Hurricane Melissa has increased to 32.
I just confirmed the death toll, and I can tell you it is going to change in the coming days. But the official death toll as we speak is now 32.
You'll hear more from the government's media briefing.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, what's your reaction to the JTA president's claim that the reopening of school lacks empathy? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, a humanitarian crisis is unfolding in Western Jamaica, where thousands of Jamaicans are scampering for food, toiletries, and the necessities of daily life. Minister of Labour and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. will join us with an update on relief efforts.
All of these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, RevaNews.ai, and on the Reva News app available on Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, it's Monday, November 3, 2025.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now the details. The death toll from Hurricane Melissa has increased to 32. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon gave the update at today's media briefing on Hurricane Melissa recovery at the office of the Prime Minister.
I just confirmed the death toll, and I can tell you it is going to change in the coming days. But the official death toll as we speak is now 32. But I will say that there are 8 other cases that are unconfirmed that the police and the JDF are now working to verify. So we do expect that number to increase. And so we'll give you another total tomorrow.
She lamented each individual loss of life and the pain felt by their loved ones.
And I don't like to say total because every single person is a life. They had a family, they had a future ahead of them. It is really very painful, and I know so many families are feeling that pain, and I feel all of Jamaica, every additional person added to that list, I know we all feel it, and we feel it deeply. And so we'll keep telling you the numbers and giving you the latest numbers, and just know that we are praying for everyone. We're praying for all these families. It's not an easy time for them.
Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Information Minister.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is advising the public to disregard a message circulating on social media claiming that a hurricane grant is currently available. In a statement on Monday, the ministry confirmed that the information being shared online is false. The ministry says it references relief grants distributed to households affected by Hurricane Beryl in 2024 and does not apply to the current situation following Hurricane Melissa. The ministry says household damage assessments are now underway as part of the official process to determine assistance needs. It says an official announcement on financial assistance to affected persons will be made in due course. This was echoed by Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon as she addressed Monday's media briefing.
What you are seeing is the one from Hurricane Beryl last year. That's not the current one. The current one is being worked out. When you hear me or the Prime Minister or one of the ministers announce it, that's when it is real. But rest assured, like we did with Hurricane Beryl, where we had cash grants to help people to get back on their feet and to reconstruct their homes, there will be something this year. And it will obviously be on a larger scale than what we had with Hurricane Beryl, given the scale of Melissa. So give us a little time to finalize that, finalize the numbers, what it will look like, how you will get access to it. There will be a program, but what you see on WhatsApp is not the program.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Information Minister. Meanwhile, the Social Security Ministry says it will continue to work closely with local and international partners to deliver urgent relief supplies to affected communities.
Telecommunications Minister Darrell Vaz says more Starlink systems are to be distributed in the coming days. The minister provided the update at a media briefing at the office of the Prime Minister on Monday. He says the systems will be going to government agencies responsible for relief efforts.
Over the past 48 hours, additional Starlink kits were allocated to organizations providing essential assistance to Jamaica impacted by Melissa. Starlink gave the government of Jamaica 400 residential. We are using those residential/commercial. All 400 will be allocated out to government agencies and NGOs by end of day tomorrow. Bearing in mind we just received them on Friday. So we are allocating them according to specifications and needs of the hardest hit parishes.
Starlink systems have been used in the aftermath of the hurricane to provide internet connectivity to the worst affected areas of the country. Minister Vaz says among those to receive personal Starlink systems is the opposition leader, Mark Golding.
Between today and tomorrow before Parliament starts, all the members of Parliament in the affected areas will get a mobile Starlink. All the mayors will get a mobile Starlink. And obviously, the leader of the opposition will get a mobile Starlink and several others. The focus and emphasis is on those hardest hit parishes.
Darrell Vaz, Minister of Telecommunications.
The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, has restored power to over 200,000 customers island-wide. CEO of JPS, Hugh Grant, provided the update at a press briefing on Monday.
As of this morning, we restored 206,000 customers. At the time of the incident, we had 550,000 customers approximately out. So we moved from 77% of customers without service to a significant milestone of having just under 50% of customers without service. That is not by chance. It's as a result of our preparation in regards to the system, preparation of the people, and the strong response.
Mr. Grant says the JPS has also exceeded the restoration levels previously promised.
We committed to restoring power to Kingston and St. Andrew North and South, St. Catherine, Portmore, and St. Thomas 90% by last night. I have some good news for you, my customers, my people. We have exceeded those restoration levels, whereby Kingston and St. Andrew are now at 95% restoration. Portmore is now at 95%. St. Thomas is at 95%, and St. Catherine is at 90%.
Hugh Grant, CEO of JPS.
The National Water Commission, NWC, has restored water to 60% of its customers whose supply was disrupted during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. So says Water Minister Matthew Samuda.
65% of the NWC's customers have actually been restored because the systems that have been brought back into activity are indeed our largest systems. So for instance, we can report that the Constant Spring system, which feeds from the Hermitage Dam, has indeed been restored. and is operating from JPS Power. We can report the same for the Mona and Hope systems, which obviously move the numbers significantly.
Western parishes such as Hanover, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland are among the parishes with the lowest restoration percentage. Minister Samuda says adjustments have been made to the water trucking process to aid the recovery process.
As it relates to trucking, the first is that we're running generators at all of our loading bays that are affected by power supply. That means where there are generators, we're able to fill trucks 18 hours a day. Where we're connected to JPS, we're filling 24 hours a day. We have suspended charging private truck owners who do access these loading bays to ensure that everyone is able to get water as quickly as is possible. We have gone further. We have engaged in excess of 100 private trucks that are working with NWC's fleet of 32, and we're doing our best to serve the communities that are most affected.
Minister Matthew Samuda, Minister of Water. He was speaking at a media briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister today.
Schools reopening is at the discretion of school boards and principals. That's according to Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. Her statement comes hours after President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Malava, expressed concern about the decision of the Education Ministry to ask administrators in areas not affected by Hurricane Melissa to reopen schools where possible.
In terms of the reopening of schools, as I drove around today, I saw some schools open, some weren't open. The ministry has said very clearly that the decision is decentralized. So the boards and the principals make the decision based on local conditions. If you don't have water, you can't open school. That's a minimum. You have to have water to open schools. But then there may be other issues in the community, maybe issues with the teachers and their ability to get in. And so all of that is taken into consideration, and the school board and the principal makes that decision working with the regional teams in the Ministry of Education. So we've decentralized that.
According to the JTA president, the move lacks empathy. The education minister is encouraging school administrators to open institutions where possible.
I cannot stay in the ministry, the PS can't stay in the ministry and say that your school must open. We can't do that. But we do encourage schools. If you're able to, let's do it. The psychologists have made it clear. After a disaster, the quicker children get back to their routine is the better it is for their mental health. It's also the case for all of us. They actually say that, the quicker we move through this grief is the better it is for us in the long run.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Minister of Education.
State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Apka Fitz-Henley, says at least 77 flights with aid have landed in the island as the government moves to increase the pace at which relief reaches citizens affected by Hurricane Melissa.
Just before I came on the interview, I spoke to the Labour Minister, the Honourable Colonel Charles Jr., who advised me that approximately 25,000 aid packages have been handed out to people most in need across the approximately 6 parishes which have been impacted. And our Transport Minister and our Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honourable Darren Vaz and Kamina Johnson-Smith, respectively, have done some good work at combining to facilitate people who are willing to bring assistance into Jamaica. Approximately 77 flights have landed at Jamaica's 2 major airports, aid coming from the United Kingdom, from the United States, Canada, and our regional partners.
Senator Fitz-Henley gave the update during an interview on BBC television last night. He responded to what he described as misinformation in the international media.
A lot of contributions are being made. Jamaica is very grateful for it. But I note sections of the international media, thankfully not the BBC, have indicated that nothing is being done from the perspective of central government. That is not so. A lot of aid is reaching our citizens, but we will be honest and admit that a lot more has to be done. But the administration of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is committed to getting it done, and we give that word of assurance to our citizens who are in great need, many of them in the parishes which have been impacted.
Apka Fitz-Henley, State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, speaking with the BBC's Claire Richardson. You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
See twice the style for less at IQ Optical. Buy one pair of glasses and get your second and third pair half price. Don't miss out. Call 876-929-7732 or visit IQ Optical today, where clarity never looked sharper.
The time by IQ Optical is
5:15. Rentokil Initial offices in Mandeville and Mobay are closed until further notice. The Kingston office is operational. Rentokil Initial empathizes with our fellow Jamaicans as we rebuild Jamaica together. The temperature brought to you by Rentokil Initial is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston City and Montego Bay.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. The technical support hub for the JPS Customer Care Center, located in Western Jamaica, has suffered infrastructural damage. This means customers may experience some difficulty getting through on the toll-free line. Customers can, however, make contact with the company via web chat on its website at jpsco.com, on its social media pages at MyJPSOnline, and through the MyJPS mobile app. JPS thanks you for your patience and understanding at this time. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Continuing the news, the opposition has called for a more broad-based, inclusive task force to oversee the relief effort for Hurricane Melissa. Opposition leader Mark Golding used a media briefing on Monday to highlight areas of concern about the current approach to the devastation caused by the Category 5 hurricane. He's also calling for leadership of the disaster response to move away from the political executive into the hands of professionals. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Mark Golding says there can be no place for partisan politics in the response to the current national disaster. He's appealing for unity and inclusiveness as the country comes to grips with the passage of Hurricane Melissa.
I have proposed to the Prime Minister from last week, Wednesday, that he should establish a broad-based task force to be given the responsibility of governance oversight over the relief effort, the relief coming in, how it is dealt with, how it is distributed. Not to manage that process on a day-to-day basis, but to provide oversight to those who are managing it. So there's some accountability for how it's done, and that accountability is being held by a broad-based group that can enjoy the support and confidence of the whole society, especially those who are suffering terribly now and no doubt fear that they may not be treated fairly.
Mr. Golding also criticized what he calls the ad hoc nature by which the government is leading the response. He says this should be left in the hands of professionals and not the political directorate.
I also think there needs to be a clear command structure for the actual day-to-day management of the response to the relief. And that should be led, in my opinion, by professionals in disaster management, not by politicians who do not know the ins and outs of responding to a disaster of this magnitude. And we should not be shy of seeking international support and help from persons who have career expertise and experience in this regard.
Other PNP MPs had their own concerns about the government's relief efforts. Northeast St. Elizabeth MP Zuleika Jess says to date, no government representative has reached out to her despite the devastation and suffering in her constituency.
It has been almost 1 week since the hurricane, and regrettably, not one government official has actually visited northeastern St. Elizabeth. Now, this is a constituency that has been ravaged. We're talking about entire communities that have lost their roofs, lost their homes. Communities such as Thornton, Windsor, in the Silo area, Bagdale Mountain. There are entire communities where absolutely no home was spared.
Similarly, South St. James MP Nikisha Burchell says the efforts of relief have yet to reach her constituency. MP for Southeast St. Catherine and spokesman on health Dr. Alfred Dawes says as things stand, the government is on track to compound the tragedy of Hurricane Melissa.
If we continue on this path where the government maintains hegemony over the distribution of aid and access to the most vulnerable communities by volunteers, if they try to do it alone, we will have an even more catastrophic man-made disaster. We are seeing a humanitarian crisis unfold before our very eyes because we have made ourselves available to work alongside the government. So again, we do not want to convert a natural disaster into a man-made disaster because of partisanship, but we should focus more on partnership.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, says he's received serious death threats as the island prepares for a pivotal general election on November 27. The Prime Minister says the threat was posted on social media on Monday. He says they were brought to his attention by his security team. Dr. Gonsalves says one threat allegedly posted on the IWN Facebook page reads, quote, "Execution for Ralph if NDP does not win," end quote. But according to Dr. Gonsalves, the intimidation attempt does not trouble him. There is heightened political competition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with the election expected to be one of the most consequential in the island's recent history. Local law enforcement has been notified to determine the credibility of the threat.
The Trump administration says it will provide reduced food aid to more than 42 million Americans as the government shutdown this week heads towards becoming the longest ever with no resolution in sight. In a court filing, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, said Americans who receive food assistance will get half of their normal monthly allotment after the government dipped into emergency funding. Judges had given the Trump administration until Monday to provide a plan for how it would pay out Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps. Funding for the program has been in limbo due to the more than month-long shutdown.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity. Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. 32 people now confirmed dead due to Hurricane Melissa, but that number is expected to increase in days.
The official death toll as we speak is now 32. There are 8 other cases that are unconfirmed.
Government warns of the circulation of a false hurricane grant message.
Starlink systems are to be distributed in the coming days, including to government agencies responsible for hurricane relief.
The opposition says professionals should take over the leadership of Jamaica's Hurricane Melissa disaster response.
At least 77 flights with hurricane relief aid have landed in the island so far. I'm Nora Gay Banton.
And I'm Shalois Michael.
You can find the news on our website at revonews.ai and on the Revo News app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6. On Monday, November 10, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. when LASCO, in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, proudly announces the Super 6 finalists for the 2025 Saluting Our Heroes Police of the Year Awards. Meet the Super 6, Jamaica's finest: Constable Monique Bartley, Corporal Stephen Smith, Corporal Rojen Holt, Detective Corporal Chadwick Williams, Constable Chantel Powell, and Detective Corporal Livy Evans. Finalists for the prestigious 2025 LASCO JCF Saluting Our Heroes Police of the Year Award. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online as we highlight and celebrate the outstanding service, leadership, and community impact of the Super 6. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online Monday, November 10 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Super 6 finalists for the 2025 Saluting Our Heroes Police of the Year Awards. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Lasco Chin Foundation and the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The hierarchy of the Jamaica Football Federation is meeting with leading members of FIFA on Tuesday to discuss the current situation of the local football landscape and the possibility of emergency funding following the passage of Hurricane Melissa a week ago. JFF President Michael Ricketts made 2 trips to Western Jamaica this weekend to see firsthand the damage done to facilities and to meet with members of the local communities. Ricketts told Nationwide Sports today that it's going to be a long way back.
Looked at some facilities, footballing facilities, looked at Treasure Beach. I had an extensive report, comprehensive report on Catherine Hall. I understand that has been badly damaged. I have collated a report for FIFA. They are looking at the possibilities of giving us some assistance as it relates to damaged infrastructure. The FIFA Foundation has also given an indication that they will certainly be giving some assistance. The FIFA Foundation, the JFF, and the Red Cross will monitor that process.
And Ricketts says, though, that there's that possibility of FIFA putting funding to assist the clubs getting back on their feet. The JFF themselves are doing their own fundraising.
We are looking at probably organizing a fundraising game that's in the very embryonic stage, but we have started discussions on that, and all the parties are very keen in that regard. So the show has to go on, but FIFA is waiting. I have a meeting with the principals at FIFA, that is tomorrow morning, to ensure that they would have assessed the damages based on the reports that we would have submitted. So the JFF really wants to do what we can to ensure that the lives of those who have been devastated by Melissa, return to some level of normality as soon as possible.
That's President of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts. 5 members of European football champions Paris Saint-Germain have been named in the FIFPro Men's Football Team of the Year. Gianluigi Donnarumma, who has since moved on to Manchester City in England, has been selected as the goalkeeper. Defenders Ashraf Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, midfielder Vitinha, and star striker Ousmane Dembele are the other PSG players in the 11. The rest of the 11, Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool, Jude Bellingham, and Kylian Mbappe of Real Madrid, Cole Palmer of Chelsea, and the Barcelona pair of Pedri and Lamine Yamal. At just 18 years old, Yamal makes history as the youngest ever player selected for the FIFPro Men's World 11. The Spanish international breaks Kylian Mbappe's previous record from 2018 when the French forward made the team when he was only 19 years old. Yamal also received the most votes amongst the World 11 with 10,167. This year's 11 is formed from over 20,000 professional men's football players voting from 68 countries. Since its launch in 2005, FIFPro has invited the world's professional footballers to select their World 11, the only global football award decided exclusively by players. Sunderland, they've moved up into the top 4 of the English Premier League, and this after coming from behind to draw 1-1 with Everton at the Stadium of Light on Monday. Everton took the lead on minute 15 through Ilman Deye, but former Arsenal star player Granit Xhaka drew Sunderland level a minute after the break. Sunderland, they're now on 18 points, the same as third place team and defending champions Liverpool, and the Everton team, they're now up in the standings to 14th with 12 points. Legendary American Sprints coach Clyde Hart has died, aged 91, after a lengthy battle with cancer. Hart is best known for guiding iconic American quarter milers Michael Johnson, Jeremy Warner, and Sandy Richards-Ross multiple world and Olympic titles. Through his career, Hart coached 9 Olympians who amassed more than a dozen gold medals. He also produced 29 NCAA champions. His outstanding contribution to the sport was recognized by World Athletics in 2009 when he was awarded the Men's Coach of the Year. He also won U.S. Track and Field's Coach of the Year in 2004 and again in 2006. Hart is survived by his wife, Maxine, and their family. And finally, in sports at this time, horse racing is set to resume at Caymanas Park in 13 days from now. Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment Limited, SVREL, the operators of Caymanas Park, well, they've set November 15 as a day for the return of horse racing following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The day will be dubbed the United Racehorse Trainers Association of Jamaica Day. And the weekend of racing will conclude on November 16 with the Jamaica Cup. And that will do it for sport. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
29 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 30 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Ho, ho, ho! And what would you like for Christmas?
A paint tough enough for my messy grandkids. Perfect color matching for my living room.
Paint that covers in fewer coats,
A finish that stands up to sun or rain,
BH Paints has you covered. Now up to 25% off.
Be one of the first 200 monthly to register on championsofcolor.com and get a free gallon of BH New Ultimate Advanced Formula. No purchase required.
All I want for Christmas is BH Paints.
Discounts available at BH Paint stores and participating hardwares.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With the Stinger Honeybee
and Karim Boyatings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. Why you say?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brainbusters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezoneblindates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblindates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions. Share them with us at ezonconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multilink. Access every time, everywhere I go. Multilink. 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win-win. when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Said Bernard.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bernard.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hughes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good. Long time when I sit down beside you.
Yes. Well, you know, our cover story this afternoon and for much of the program for today and the coming days and weeks, the fallout from Hurricane Melissa. Well, the death toll has now risen to 32. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon gave the update at today's media briefing on the recovery effort at the Office of the Prime Minister.
I just confirmed the death toll, and I can tell you it is going to change in the coming days. But the official death toll as we speak is now 32. But I will say that there are 8 other cases that are unconfirmed that the police and the JDF are now working to verify. So we do expect that number to increase. And so we'll give you another total tomorrow. And I don't like to say total because every single person is a life. They had a family, they had a future ahead of them. It is really very painful, and I know so many families are feeling that pain, and I feel all of Jamaica, every additional person added to that list, I know we all feel it, and we feel it deeply. And so we'll keep telling you the numbers and giving you the latest numbers, and just know that, you know, we are praying for everyone. We're praying for all these families. It's not an easy time for them.
That's Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, the Minister of Information. Well, in the meantime...
Just before 28 to 32.
And it's expected to go up.
And she says there were 8 more
unconfirmed cases.
So that if those 8 are proven to be actual deaths related to...
It will be 40.
40.
It's going close to the Gilbert count, I believe.
Yes, Gilbert was 45.
45, right.
Yeah.
Wow. In the meantime, the Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications, Dal Vaz, gave an update on the restoration of connectivity across the island. He says more Starlink kits will be distributed in the coming days.
So again, I want to update the nation on where we are and assure you once again that restoration is moving steadily forward. Digicel has restored 46% of its mobile sites, with 86% of fixed networks and 75% of business connections now back online. Service was restored in Santa Cruz, Falmouth, Spurtree, Bevan, and Rose Hall within the past 24 hours. I don't need to tell you how huge that is in terms of getting connectivity in those areas. Over the next 2 days, the focus will be on restoring service from Falmouth to Montego Bay, then Montego Bay to Negril. Work is also ongoing in Portmore, Spanish Town, and St. Thomas. Approximately 64% of Flow's fixed sites are now operational, with 40% of customers reconnected, mainly in the urban areas where the power has been restored. Work continues to bring service back in to more affected western and southern parishes. For mobile network, 37% of our sites are up, reaching about 78% of mobile customers. Repairs are focused on the hardest hit parishes, including St. Anne, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth, where several towers were damaged. Neptune Communications, working with Marlink USA, is replacing and relocating damaged satellite units to restore connectivity where it is available. Additional satellite kits are arriving this week to expand coverage. Over the past 48 hours, additional Starlink kits were allocated to organizations providing essential assistance to Jamaica impacted by Melissa. I want us to stop again to thank Starlink, who have a team, an emergency response team, stationed in Jamaica, and are helping to coordinate the Starlink installations. So again, a charitable organization brought 200 mobile Starlink, and Starlink gave the government of Jamaica 400 residential. We are using those residential / commercial. All 400 will be allocated out to government agencies and NGOs by end of day tomorrow. Bearing in mind we just received them on Friday. So we are allocating them according to specifications and needs of the hardest hit parishes. The fire brigade would have gotten today, and a lot of other essential services, too much to name. The Ministry of Health, in close coordination with United Nations Children's Fund, is working to restore connectivity to major hospitals and community health centers. Jamaican government, the Jamaica Red Cross and international NGOs are also using connectivity provided by Starlink to distribute food, water, and sanitation supplies, basic household items, and children's activity kits. The Starlink devices have been used to establish connectivity for community Wi-Fi points. So remember, we have hundreds of community Wi-Fi sites that were put in by the Universal Service Fund, which falls under my ministry. So we're working with Starlink now to get those back up so that communities, especially remote communities, will have community Wi-Fi to be able to communicate with their families, etc. So to close on Starlink, I today distributed between today and tomorrow before Parliament starts. All the members of Parliament in the affected areas will get a mobile Starlink. All the mayors will get a mobile Starlink. And obviously, the leader of the opposition will get a mobile Starlink, and several others. We only have a few, 33 that we have distributed today, but we're hoping by end of week they will get. So the focus and emphasis is on those hardest hit parishes. Sorry, clarification. The mayors in the hardest hit parishes who do not have already Starlink, and the municipal corporations will get Starlink to operate as they are the emergency response. Municipal corporation is the emergency response for the parish. The Jamaica Defence Force and Jamaica Constabulary Force also have utilized Starlink to coordinate humanitarian logistical operations and provide missions. Finally, Starlink has also employed to restore cell services to some areas. I indicate the ATMs. We have gotten lists from the Jamaica Bankers Association. We're working with them through Starlink to connect the ATMs in those affected areas, and we expect to get at least 10 of them up this week. So we are ticking the boxes of all of the essential services that are going to be required.
Daryl Vaz, the Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Critical areas in the recovery effort. And Starlink, yes? The biggest advertisement
yes.
for Starlink.
The
Melissa.
biggest, if anything, and I'm able to say this, Cliff, that they've benefited greatly.
Of course.
But to their credit, they've also delivered. And they've delivered in the sense as well as it relates to giving something back to Jamaicans. They've now slashed the price of the modems for Jamaica. In instances where there was a surcharge because of the demand, they've also slashed the surcharge for Jamaicans. They're also now giving at least a month free for Jamaicans. Yes, it is a ploy as well to get the business in from Jamaica, but it works both ways in that, there's some relief
we win,
to get
win.
in. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to take the break. After the break, we're going to hear the update from the President and CEO of the Light and Power Company, JPS, that CEO being Hugh Grant. That's after the break.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
16 minutes to 6.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jack on my figure, dig the wall. Upper Total Tools. Weed whacker figure, trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them, and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slibe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
15 minutes going up to 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us. We are giving you the latest from the government's presser on Hurricane Melissa and the relief and recovery efforts that are being made. You've heard already from the information minister saying that the death toll has increased to 32 with another 8 cases unconfirmed, so that number could rise. And you heard just now from the Minister of Telecommunications, Transport and Energy, Daryl Vaz, giving an update as it relates to internet connectivity across the hardest hit parishes in the island. Now you'll hear from representatives of the Jamaica Public Service Company as they are expected to give updates to Cabinet every week on their restoration efforts. Last week, the minister expressed disappointment in the frequency of communication from the JPS. In the meantime, President and CEO of JPS, Hugh Grant, says over 200,000 customers have had their power restored.
As of this morning, we restored 206,000 customers. At the time of the incident, we had 550,000 customers approximately out. So we moved from 77% of customers without service to a significant milestone of having just under 50% of customers without service. That is not by chance. It's as a result of our preparation in regards to the system, preparation of the people, and the strong response. I want to say a special thanks to all our partners, particularly my fellow utility providers, Flow, Digicel, the partnerships with the National Water Commission, and also the partnerships with the hospitals. One of the things we have been focused on is the restoration of critical facilities and focus the resources around that. We have made tremendous progress on that front, whereby we have currently 57% of our major hospitals now have power. That's as a result of us moving resources to the supply areas of those hospitals, doing the necessary damage assessment, and facilitating that restoration. Now, what does that look like? We got a call that the Black River Hospital was having some issues, and patients were evacuated to the Mandeville Hospital. And Mandeville Hospital has some issues with their generator. We then worked to get power into Mandeville Hospital, given how critical that was. And I'm pleased to share with you that that was achieved, and the Mandeville Hospital now has power. We committed to restoring power to Kingston and St. Andrew North and South, St. Catherine, Portmore, and St. Thomas, 90% by last night. I have some good news for you, my customers, my people. We have exceeded those restoration levels, whereby Kingston and St. Andrew are now at 95% restoration. Portmore is now at 95%. St. Thomas is at 95%, and St. Catherine is at 90%. So one may ask, where are some of the areas that are currently out? In St. Catherine, you have areas of Spanish Town, Guys Hill, Bogwalk, and Central Village that are currently out. and we are working 24/7 to have your power restored within the next 2 weeks. In Portmore, you have areas of Bridgeport, Gregory Park, Hellshire, Greater Portmore, Waterford that are out. And we are working 24/7 to have your power restored in 6 days. In KSA North, you have areas of Kingston 7, 9, 6, Kingston 8, 19, Mavis Bank, Garden Town, Golden Spring that are out. Also, some areas in Content Gap. And we are working 24/7 to have your power restored. Hagley Park, Hagley Grove, Morant Bay, Cedar Valley, that's the 5%. We're working to have your power restored within 10 days. And KSA South, Kingston 11, Kingston 10, 13, Kingston 1, 2, and also some areas in Bull Bay, we're working to have your power restored in 3 days. We are working 24/7 to have your power restored. Now, in order for your power to restore, we need to do our damage assessment. A critical component, as Minister Vaz said, is the reality that the high voltage transmission lines, which are the backbone of the system, more than 70% are out of power due to the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. I had a chance to do a helicopter patrol, and our steel lattice structure, which is one of our more hardened facilities, was twisted and on the ground just due to this devastation. But we were working to do damage assessment. Once the damage assessments are completed, we will then be able to give you more clearly what are estimated times of restoration. We stand committed to keep you updated. We understand the inconvenience, and help is on the way. We have now pulled the trigger to bring in an additional 100 line workers based on our retainer contracts with companies in North America, from Canada and from the USA, and those 100 overseas line workers are expected to be here by the end of the week. We also are bringing in additional equipment because our local resources in terms of bucket trucks and pole digger trucks are exhausted. So we're bringing in on barges additional bucket trucks, more than 50 bucket trucks, more than 10 digger trucks, so that when the workers come in, they have the equipment required so that they can safely and optimally restore customers. I stand committed to let you know and to give you hope that we will get through this through strong partnerships, through strong collaboration, and you have my commitment that I'll continue to keep you informed of our progress.
That's Hugh Grant, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Public Service Company. And he's under pressure. He's under a lot of scrutiny, yes, because of what happened last year with Beryl. And we know that the Energy Minister, Daryl Vaz, has them under manners. Yeah? Whether they will rise to the occasion, we don't know. They're making improvements, though. They're making serious gains. Yeah? And we hope that that will get us very quickly to a place where devastated parts of Western Jamaica, such as Black River, St. Elizabeth, will have their power restored in months and not a year or two.
And Hanover as well, and parts of Trelawney.
Yes.
Up until today, still no electricity, yeah? But the Water Minister, Matthew Samudo, he says 132 of the NWC's 763 systems are active.
The NWC systems have been severely impacted by passage of Hurricane Melissa. The primary issues that we face impacting water supply at this stage in many areas include high turbidity, internal electromechanical issues, external power supply outages, and infrastructure damage. We can report, if this will oblige, that the situation as it stands now, we've had 631 systems disrupted, with 132 systems currently active, giving you the grand total of 763. However, this is to be understood in the context that the systems that we have brought up and ensured are active at this stage in line with priority are your largest systems. Now, that would give a particular view in terms of the level of damage and the level of disruption. But you juxtapose that against the fact that 65% of the NWC's customers have actually been restored, because the systems that have been brought back into activity are indeed our largest systems. So for instance, we can report that the Constant Spring system, which feeds from the Hermitage Dam, has indeed been restored and is operating from JPS Power. We can report the same for the Mona and Hope systems, which obviously move the numbers significantly. Now I will take the time to go pretty much in a circle around the country just to give some information so that those here have a feel of exactly where we are and what we're likely to see by way of customers coming back on stream over the next 3 days. We are currently operating from the Tullow Springs, which the Tullow Springs system contemplates wells and water sources all the way to Bybrook in Linstead. That is the corridor that supplies southern St. Andrew, Portmore, and the majority of St. Catherine. We're operating at around 30%. We're working very closely with the JPS. We would have completed clearing the roadways to our pumping facilities yesterday, and we expect that this system will be connected to JPS this evening, which will bring back over 80% of customers in St. Catherine. There is some disruption, and I'll just briefly get on to St. Thomas. There is some disruption in many of your small systems in St. Thomas because the rivers are in spate and there is a fair amount of turbidity. But we are happy to report that the largest system, which in Morant Bay, which is a Springfield system, is indeed operating using one of our generators, and we continue to bring on the small systems. Now, one thing before I move on to the other parishes, it's important to note that the majority of your customers, in line with the population distribution, are indeed living on the plains that go right around the coast. So when you bring on those large systems on the flat, you're able to bring on a lot of people very fast. One thing that is consistent, and as I just give you a glance back at the graphics, and I need people to understand that that many of the systems that have come back on stream are indeed the ones that are able to gravity feed water to the plains. Anywhere there's need for a lift station where there's no energy, those particular pumps as a sub-part of a system are not yet up. To understand, as we move further west, in South Clarendon, one of your largest systems is the Kemps Hill system. That is currently down, but we are working with the JPS and we expect to have that back up this evening. That will have significant positive impact in communities like Rocky Point, Minister Charles, and we expect that to happen as at this evening, further moving us toward our goals.
That's the Minister of Water, Matthew Samuda. The western parishes, Hanover, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, are among those with the lowest levels of restoration of water. Yes? And that's where it's most badly needed now, because they are the most hard-hit parishes. They're Hanover, St. Bess and Westmoreland. Minister Samuda says adjustments have been made to the water trucking initiative to help the recovery process.
We have put in place a few steps that we believe will help with getting water to those who are most affected and least likely to see the return of water fastest. The first is that we're running generators at all of our loading bays that are affected by power supply. That means where there are generators, we're able to fill trucks 18 hours a day. Where we're connected to JPS, we're filling 24 hours a day. We have suspended charging private truck owners who do access these loading bays to ensure that everyone is able to get water as quickly as is possible. We have gone further. We have engaged in excess of 100 private trucks that are working with NWC's fleet of 32, and we're doing our best to serve the communities that are most affected. This afternoon, members of Parliament will all receive a letter from my office with allocations for trucking. Where they are able to find private trucks, they will be able to engage them to ensure that their most affected communities or least likely to be restored fast, they're able to respond to. These allocations will be between $1 and $2 million, depending on the level of disruption in their respective areas. We're also ensuring that at treatment plants and pump houses in the affected areas, that have power and that are operating, we're putting in a host of temporary standpipes for those who can get to those areas to fill containers to be able to get water. These will obviously be temporary, but certainly, for instance, in the case of a plant like Martha Brae, we'll put in 100 filling stations so that those who are in the hilly interior but within driving distance can come and get water for the reprieve that they need. We are working actively also with the team at the Ministry of Water, and indeed with suppliers. We intend to increase on an emergency basis our fleet of trucks to continue to serve the public better during this challenging time. But we are working very closely with JPS. We do remain open to suggestion, we remain open to your prayers, and we are working to ensure that we get to 80% by this weekend of customers. And we are going to work around the clock to move from 80 to 100%.
That is the Water Minister, Minister Matthew Samuda. Well, we go for a break.
Yeah, we go to the headlines at 6, and we'll be back here with the nation's business when we'll give you more updates on what's happening with the recovery effort regarding Melissa.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is...
A minute after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Norige Banton. The death toll from Hurricane Melissa has increased to 32. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon gave the update at today's media briefing on Hurricane Melissa recovery at the office of the Prime Minister.
I just confirmed the death toll, and I can tell you it is going to change in the coming days. But the official death toll as we speak is now 32, but I will say that there are 8 other cases that are unconfirmed that the police and the JDF are now working to verify. So we do expect that number to increase. And so we'll give you another total tomorrow.
She lamented each individual loss of life and the pain felt by their loved ones.
And I don't like to say total because every single person is a life. They had a family, they had a future ahead of them. It is really very painful, and I know so many families are feeling that pain, and I feel all of Jamaica, every additional person added to that list, I know we all feel it, and we feel it deeply. And so we'll keep telling you the numbers and giving you the latest numbers, and just know that we are praying for everyone. We're praying for all these families. It's not an easy time for them.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Information Minister. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is advising the public to disregard a message circulating on social media claiming that a hurricane grant is currently available. In a statement on Monday, the ministry confirmed that the information being shared online is false. The ministry says it references relief grants distributed to households affected by Hurricane Beryl in 2024 and does not apply to the current situation following Hurricane Melissa. The ministry says household damage assessments are now underway as part of the official process to determine assistance needs. It says an official announcement on financial assistance to be effected to the affected persons will be made in due course. This was echoed by Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon as she addressed Monday's media briefing.
What you are seeing is the one from Hurricane Beryl last year. That's not the current one. The current one is being worked out. When you hear me or the Prime Minister or one of the ministers announce it, that's when it is real. But rest assured, like we did with Hurricane Beryl, where we had cash grants to help people to get back on their feet and to reconstruct their homes, there will be something this year. And it will obviously be on a larger scale than what we had with Hurricane Beryl, given the scale of Melissa. So give us a little time to finalize that, finalize the numbers, what it will look like, how you will get access to it. There will be a program, but what you see on WhatsApp is not the program.
Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, Information Minister. Meanwhile, the Social Security Ministry says it will continue to work closely with the local and international partners to deliver urgent relief supplies to affected communities. Nowhere was spared Hurricane Melissa's wrath. That's the word from Member of Parliament for North Trelawney, Tova Hamilton. The MP toured the areas impacted by the Category 5 system with Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness on Friday.
We have been out of communication since Tuesday. We have no water. We have no electricity. It's very bad. There is no community that I have gone to so far that has not been totally devastated. I have no idea how we're going to pick up these pieces at this time. So far, we've been trying to clear the roads, create access. We had a lot of pole lines down. I think the JPS is trying to clear them as well.
MP Hamilton says some areas are still inaccessible, but she's hoping connectivity challenges will improve in the coming days.
We have areas that are still inaccessible. The areas leading to Wakefield. We have the Perth Town, the Macquarie River has flooded the entire space, so we cannot travel to sections like Duanville from Macquarie. Homes have been destroyed. I think maybe from today's overview, you can see that Falmouth is ground zero. And we're just hoping that within the days, weeks to come, we can at least get some communication so that we can communicate on the outside. Family members need to know what's going on.
Tova Hamilton, MP for North Trelawney, and Trelawney's Parish Manager for Health Services, Carissa Bell Cummings, says Falmouth Hospital's proximity to the coast caused major challenges when the hurricane made landfall.
Most of our roof would have been damaged and we would have experienced flooding in most of our spaces. The sea actually came out, so we have had significant damage. Since the hurricane has passed, we've had visits from the Honorable Minister of Health. He was able to send some Starlink communication for us to assist with communication, as we would have been challenged with that as well.
Carissa Bell Cummings, Manager of Health Services in Trelawney. One man who was in the hospital during the hurricane says the experience was traumatizing.
I shed tears when I said the disaster Tuesday night. Yes. I were here. They didn't have to travel with the patient and from 5. But yes, I shed tears when I said the disaster Tuesday night. Yes. I were here. They didn't have to travel with the patient and from 5 weeks in the rain. The struggle when sister said, come, the patient and go and drown. And we have to hold you and fight it with all the young babies them on the mat one. Tears run out of me. I'm traumatized. Let me see what take place. I have never seen it. I have passed through so many hurricanes. I have never seen any like this one.
A man who was at the Falmouth General Hospital during Hurricane Melissa. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Norige. Banton Sport is next.
Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited are authorized distributors of international brands ABB, Omron, STC, Festo, and Thomas & Betts. They supply programmable logic controllers, photoelectric and proximity sensors, contactors and soft starters, power supplies, variable frequency drives, and much more. Visit them at 24 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston, or shop 32 Overton Plaza, 46 Union Street, Montego Bay, or visit their website cleasling.net. Cleasing Industrial Supplies for all your industrial automation and control solutions.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. The Technical Support Hub for the JPS Customer Care Center located in western Jamaica, has suffered infrastructural damage. This means customers may experience some difficulty getting through on the toll-free line. Customers can, however, make contact with the company via web chat on its website at jpsco.com, on its social media pages at MyJPSOnline, and through the MyJPS mobile app. JPS thanks you for your patience and understanding at this time. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. World and Olympic 200 meters medalist Warren Ware, rising sprint star Kadrian Golson, and Canadian Olympic relay gold medalist, that's the Olympic relay gold medalist Brandon Rodney, are amongst a host of big-name athletes who have been contributing to relief effort in Jamaica following the passage of Hurricane Melissa a week ago. Ware joined forces with his family in Florida to distribute bags of food, clothes, and other supplies to a number of individuals in St. Elizabeth, one of the parishes hardest hit. The former Calabar star, who was part of that historic 200-meter sweep at the London Olympic Games in 2012, says he had to get involved.
No more than ever, let's come together and help to rebuild life, help to make a difference. You know, it doesn't matter how small your donation is, everything makes a difference. We Jamaicans are one cocoa-full basket. So whether it's financial support, or food, or clothing, or essentials, let's go out in our community and help. And if you're not in Jamaica, let us find where we can actually leave those donations.
Ware is also urging Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora who can afford to contribute to do so.
Me and my family went to the Golden Cross restaurant, and every Golden Cross are taking donation. There's many organizations across America who are taking donations. Doesn't matter how small it is, every single donation counts. Every single contribution make a difference. So let us rebuild Jamaica and let's rebuild stronger.
Warren Ware, Golson and Rodney, who are key figures at J.C. Foster College and also the Sprintec Track Club, were also heavily involved with their contribution of water and non-perishable items. J.C. Foster College principal Maurice Wilson, who is also technical leader of Jamaica's teams to senior global athletics championships, was also in St. Elizabeth at the weekend distributing water alongside his son. Legendary American sprint coach Clyde Hart has died at the age of 91 after a lengthy battle with cancer. Hart is best known for guiding iconic American quarter-milers Michael Johnson, Jeremy Warner, and Sanya Richard Ross to multiple world and Olympic titles. Throughout his career, Hart coached 9 Olympians who amassed more than a dozen gold medals. He also coached 29 NCAA champions. His outstanding contribution to the sport was recognized by World Athletics in 2009 when he was named the Coach of the Year. He also won U.S. Track and Field Coach of the Year in 2004 and again in 2006. Hart is survived by his wife Maxine and their family. The World Athletics Indoor Tour makes a return in 2026, featuring a packed calendar of almost 80 meetings across all levels. With less than 3 months to go until the first gold level action of the season, meetings spread across 24 countries in Asia, Europe, and North America have been announced, and the scoring disciplines confirmed. The tour has grown from 7 meetings in 2020 to 77 competitions so far for the 2025-26 season. The upcoming World Indoor Tour begins on December 13 in the Romanian capital, Bucharest, and it ends on March 12 in Uppsala, Sweden. The series features 8 gold-level meetings, kicking off in Boston, USA on January 24. The series culminates in Turon, Poland on February 22 as athletes prepare for the World Indoor Athletics Championships at the same venue, March 20 to 22. For 2026, the gold level scoring disciplines will be women's 400 meters, 1500 meters, 60 meter hurdles, high jump, long jump, and for men, 60 meters, 800 meters, 3000 and 5000 meters, the pole vault, triple jump, and shot put events. The hierarchy of the Jamaica Football Federation is meeting with leading members of football's world governing body FIFA on Tuesday to discuss the current situation of the local football landscape and the possibility of emergency funding following the passage of Hurricane Melissa a week ago. JFF President Michael Ricketts made 2 trips to Western Jamaica this weekend to see firsthand the damage done to facilities and to speak with local members of the communities. Ricketts told Nationwide Sports on Monday that it's going to be a long way back.
Looked at some facilities, footballing facilities, looked at Treasure Beach. I had an extensive report, comprehensive report on Catherine Hall. I understand that has been badly damaged. I have coordinated a report for FIFA. They are looking at the possibilities of giving us some assistance as it relates to damaged infrastructure. The FIFA Foundation has also given an indication that they will certainly be giving some assistance. The FIFA Foundation, the JFF, and the Red Cross will monitor that process.
And Ricketts says, though there's that possibility of a FIFA emergency funding to help the clubs get back on their feet, he says that JFF is also doing their own fundraising.
We are looking at probably organizing a fundraising game that's in the very embryonic stage, but we have started discussions on that, and all the parties are very keen in that regard. So the show has to go on, but FIFA is waiting. I have a meeting with the principals at FIFA, that is tomorrow morning, to ensure that they would have assessed the damages based on the reports that we would have submitted. So the JFF really wants to do what we can to ensure that the lives of those who have been devastated by Melissa, return to some level of normality as soon as possible.
President of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts. Sunderland, they moved into the top 4 of the English Premier League this after coming from behind to play out a 1-1 draw with Everton at the Stadium of Light on Monday. Everton took the lead on 15 minutes through Ilman Nende, but the former Arsenal star Granit Xhaka drew Sunderland level a minute after the break. Sunderland, they are now up on to 18 points. That's the same as our third place and defending champions Liverpool. Everton, they're up to 14th in the standings with 12 points. New Zealand's outstanding batsman Kane Williamson has called time on his T20 international career. The 35-year-old made the announcement ahead of the Black Caps' upcoming series against the West Indies as he seeks to prioritise Test cricket. Williamson is New Zealand's second leading run scorer in the format. He scored 2,535 runs in 93 games at an average of 33.44. He's got 18 half centuries and a top score of 95.
For a long period of time and captain for a long period of time as well, and I sort of feel like it's the right time to do that and the right time for the team, and gives them good clarity sort of moving forward with the games that they have coming up going into their next focus, which is the World Cup.
Kane Williamson, and while the 35-year-old has not called time on his 50-over career, he's also sitting out the 3 one-day internationals that will be a part of the series just to make sure that he gets ready for the test matches that will also follow. There are 3 of them. Horse racing at Caymanas Park is set to resume in 13 days' time. Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment Limited, SRVREL, the operators of Caymanas Park, they have set November 15 as the day for the return of horse racing following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The day will be dubbed the United Racing Racehorse Trainers Association of Jamaica. The weekend of racing will conclude on November 16 with the Jamaica Cup. Italian Yannick Sinner is back at the top of men's tennis. The 24-year-old leapfrogged his Spanish rival Carlos Alcaraz into the top spot following his impressive display at the Paris Open final on Sunday, where he turned back Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime 6-4, 7-6. Sinner has been unbeaten indoors all season, 26 straight victories, quite impressive, and he's now only the 4th player in the history of the Paris Open to win the title without dropping a set. Speaking after his return to the number 1 spot, Sinner said that his victory in Paris feels a little different from the others.
This is really special because, after winning Vienna, you come here, you don't have a lot of time, and I'm extremely happy. Of course, you learn Usually you learn more when you lose, because you reflect a little bit more. But I feel like this week has been a learning process also to understand my body much better, and it also shows that every day it's really different, it can be in good and it can be in bad.
That's the new world's #1 men's tennis player, Yannick Sinner of Italy. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612 to 5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:19.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. Those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
This is a public service announcement from JPS. The technical support hub for the JPS Customer Care Center, located in Western Jamaica, has suffered infrastructural damage. This means customers may experience some difficulty getting through on the toll-free line. Customers can, however, make contact with the company via web chat on its website at jpsco.com, on its social media pages at MyJPS Online, and through the MyJPS mobile app. JPS thanks you for your patience and understanding at this time. That was a public service announcement from JPS.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
What's everyone talking about? It's Front Page in This Morning. Get the issue of the day this and every weekday morning at 7:20 a.m. on Front Page. This Morning. Morning radio the right way. Front Page is brought to you by ABC Electrical for a better choice in the electrical business.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice.
tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's Talk Justice every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. My name is Dana Davey. The Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, is expressing deep concern regarding the Ministry of Education's decision to push for the reopening of schools for teaching and learning in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. JTA President Mark Malaver says the move lacks empathy in a time where many teachers, students, and their families are grappling with trauma.
The call for a rapid resumption of normal school operations does not reflect the empathy and understanding required in a national crisis of this magnitude. The JTA is therefore urging the ministry to demonstrate crisis leadership grounded in compassion, flexibility, and responsiveness to the emotional and physical realities facing our education community. The immediate focus should not be on academic recovery, but rather on emotional recovery, providing teachers, students, and school leaders with the space, time, and psychosocial support they need to begin the healing process.
Meanwhile, Minister of Education, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, said some schools in parishes that fared better may reopen today. Dr. Morris Dixon says Parliamentary Secretary in the ministry, Senator Marlon Morgan, has been tasked with spearheading the emergency plan for students in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, and Hanover. However, she stressed right now it's about getting food to individuals and assisting those in need. But Mr. Malaver is calling for more time on a whole for teachers and principals to recover. And so in Public Opinion this evening we ask, what's your reaction to the JTA president's claim that the reopening of school lacks empathy? And we are going to start with your comments on Twitter, X, formerly Twitter. Remember, we're going to be coming to YouTube, so you can drop your comments in the YouTube chat and we'll be right with you. So starting with Instagram, Owen Scott says, the ministry's bulletin says it encourages schools to resume once condition allows. This gives school leadership the flexibility not to reopen. Empathy is embedded in the word encourages. Brazil King says we must allow those who can in those least affected parishes attend as long as there is no risk. COVID has set us back educationally already. We must show fight and resilience. And Natalia Clark says a significant number of schools are damaged, some severely. Thousands of families across Western Jamaica are displaced, navigating homelessness, hunger, loss, and immense mental strain. Even those untouched feel the weight. Schools can stay closed at least another week. Some are still being used as shelters. What are we supposed to do with these people? Now's the time to teach our youth the power of community and volunteerism. So as said previously, the Minister of Education did say that schools who can reopen, so for example, schools in parts of Kingston and St. Andrew who weren't really affected by Hurricane Melissa, schools who didn't have any damage to their infrastructure, they can come in. However, schools, in the western ends of the island, or maybe schools who are still being used as shelter, for some people, those schools would not be expected to reopen today. So we are going to move on to Instagram. Yes, we're moving on to Instagram. KK Simon says, I think the schools should close. Walshy 876 says that she agrees with the JTA. Another Instagram commenter says, why didn't he speak up from the education minister made the announcement? Why is he saying something when a lot of schools decided to open this week? All right, so those are the comments on Twitter and Instagram. We're now coming to you, our YouTubers. Again, the question this evening, we're asking, what's your reaction to the JTA's president's claim that the reopening of school lacks empathy? Novelette Smith says, if the government didn't say open, the government didn't say open those that can open. The government said to open schools if they can be opened. Don Walker says, Mr. JTA President, did you ask CSEC to delay the exams for Jamaicans? Remember that CSEC exams are held in May, June. We're in November, so we have a little bit of time. SMD says, are teachers the only workforce affected? No. Why do they act like other professionals are not burdened or affected? Brick Road says, school for Western Jamaica is on hold until homes, schools are rebuilt and life returns to normalcy. All right, we're still looking for your comments on YouTube. Kata B says, how long did he want schools to remain closed? I don't think the JTA president gave a timeline. I think, the essence of what he was saying was that, give some schools a little bit more time. But then again, that's in line with what the education minister said. It wasn't, the education minister didn't say that, all right, all schools should reopen, just some, if you can. M Jam says, what about where possible is so hard to comprehend? Certified Chef Pamela Jamaica says, what's staying home going to accomplish? Empathy and school can work side by side. It's not rocket science. Who am I says, open schools next year. Why this rush to open schools? All right. Well, that's your opinion. Who am I? Still looking for your comments. Still collecting your comments on YouTube. Again, the question is, what's your reaction to the JTA president's claim that the reopening of schools lacked empathy? Patrina Henry says, I think schools should open, the ones that can. There shouldn't be learning loss for all our children. And that's it for public opinion this evening. We welcome all your opinions because that's what they are, your opinions. So thank you for being with us this evening. And that's it for public opinion. Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33. Good evening and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Dana Davey. National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited, NCB, and its partners have raised $450 million to accelerate Jamaica's recovery following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. The initiative was launched with a $200 million commitment from NCB, matched by contributions from long-standing partners and further strengthened by a $50 million donation from Guardian Group. The funds will be channeled through the Building a Better Jamaica Fund, administered by NCB Foundation, to deliver targeted relief and rebuilding support for affected communities across the island. In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, Pepsi-Cola Jamaica says it's donating 9,000 cases of water, Gatorade, and Pepsi products to affected communities across the island. The donations are valued at a cost of $50,000. To date, the company has already distributed more than 3,000 cases to support relief efforts in some of the hardest hit parishes, including St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland. Deliveries have been made through coordinated partnership with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Ramesh Entertainment, and other community-based organizations working on the ground to reach affected families and first responders. And in foreign exchange this evening, the US dollar is selling for $161.31. The Canadian dollar is selling for $115.20, and the British pound is selling for $214.31. That's the business report. I'm Dana Davey. Good evening.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah, Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Taboo topics, bulletins after dusk,
riveting discussions,
celebrity news and interviews,
topics that are shunned by society,
and everything else in between.
Boyatings After Dark with Kareem Boyatings, each and every Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m.
Boyatings After Dark.
No topic is too taboo or hard to discuss. Come get your mind blown and your curiosity explored.
Boyatings After Dark.
On Monday, November 10, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. when LASCO, in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, proudly announces the Super 6 finalists for the 2025 Saluting Our Heroes Police of the Year Awards. Meet the Super 6, Jamaica's finest, Constable Monique Bartley, Corporal Stephen Smith, Corporal Rojen Holt, Detective Corporal Chadwick Williams, Constable Chantal Powell, and Detective Corporal Livy Evans. Finalists for the prestigious 2025 LASCO JCF Saluting Our Heroes Police of the Year Award. Tune into Cliff Views Online as we highlight and celebrate the outstanding service, leadership, and community impact of the Super 6. So tune into Cliff Views Online Monday, November 10 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Super 6 finalists for the 2025 Saluting Our Heroes Police of the Year Awards. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Lasco Chin Foundation and the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With this thing of Honey Bee
and Karim Boyatings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. Why you say?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brain busters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezoneblindates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblindates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions. Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
It's 20 minutes going up to 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us. We now turn to the nation's business. A humanitarian crisis is unfolding in Western Jamaica, where thousands of Jamaicans are scampering for food, toiletries, and the necessities of daily life. The situation is unfolding days after the most powerful hurricane in a century, Melissa, battered parts of the island. Several relief flights have arrived in Jamaica, delivering vital aid and support.
The U.S. government has also announced an initial $11 million pledge in assistance to support relief and recovery efforts. Along with that, the U.S. has sent its Disaster Assistance Response Team, DART. The team of approximately 30 people with rescue dogs consists of specialists trained in a variety of disaster relief areas.
The United Kingdom is pledging an additional £5 million to support Jamaica and the Caribbean in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. That's just over $1 billion Jamaican dollars. The amount is in addition to the £2.5 million announced on Wednesday.
El Salvador has also sent help by way of 3 planes with rescue personnel and humanitarian aid. Its president, Nayib Bukele, says 300 rescuers are also taking part in the mission. The aid package includes 50 tons of supplies to support people affected by Melissa.
In the meantime, the government has established several committees to manage the response to Hurricane Melissa, including a Relief and Recovery Oversight Committee. Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon says the scale of the devastation requires specific interventions, including the proper management of the resources to be distributed.
The Relief and Recovery Oversight Committee comprises Ministers Pernell Charles Jr., Matthew Samuda, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Dr. Dana Morris Dixon. The Finance Minister Favour Williams and Minister Audrey Marks are also ex officio members. Well, to give us an update on the relief efforts, we're being joined by the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr. Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Good evening to you both and to all of your listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Well, Sir Charles, let me ask you, what's the latest on where we are as it relates to relief across Western Jamaica? Minister? Hello? Seems as if we lost the minister there. We're trying to re-establish your...
Are you hearing me?
Yes, hearing you now. Are you hearing us?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. What's the latest as it relates to relief out in the West?
Yes, but we're...
Not hearing him again. Seems to be tripping in and out. Minister, are you there with us? Okay, we're gonna check that line and sort that out. But Sir Hughes, one of the things that we also have to put to the minister is as it relates to this idea that some areas are still locked off,
yes,
still cut off, still marooned, and it seems as if aid is going one place more than the other. It would be good to get some assurance from the minister as to the strategy behind where they go, how they get this relief across those various small nook and cranny communities out there in the western part of the island. That seems to be a main point of contention.
Right. And the supply of food and water. Yes, people need that urgently. That is where I think most of the pain is building.
Yes.
That people can't get water, food to drink so that they can just continue to live, to survive under the open skies. For many of them, there are no roofs.
Yes, but that's the next thing as well. We're trying to give the relief now for day-to-day living, but when do we go to the next phase of rebuilding, giving them a roof over their head? Is Minister Charles with us? Minister?
I hope you can hear me now. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing us?
Loud and clear. I was hearing you before.
Okay.
Not sure what was happening. I was saying to you, permit me to just express deepest sympathies to all who are affected by the hurricane. I was expressing condolences.
Minister, are you moving, or can I ask you to move from where you currently are? That seems to might be the issue.
I am standing still. Let me walk. Are you hearing me now?
Yes. Continue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I was just expressing sympathies to those affected by the hurricane and those who lost their loved ones. Being on the ground, you really get a first-hand understanding of how deeply this has impacted so many vulnerable families. And that's why we are focusing our relief and recovery on being efficient and being as timely as possible and targeting vulnerabilities. So marooned areas is our top priority right now because those persons need the basic.
Oh dear. Are you out in the country, Minister, or are you in the corporate area?
I'm in the corporate area.
Well, and we're struggling to hear you. You're breaking up. We're losing you ever so frequently.
Are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. But let us see if it will hold.
I actually walked outside, so I'm outside in my socks. I'm in the parking lot.
All right, go ahead. So you're saying you're focusing on marooned areas.
Yeah, those marooned areas are, of course, the most vulnerable, with hundreds of persons who need food, who need water. So in that, we have worked with JDF. Yesterday, we did 3 operations evacuating persons that were either sick or stranded from Compton in St. Elizabeth, Spring Garden in Trelawney, Darlington, St. James, and Shady Grove. Today, we were in Westmoreland, in Darlington, we were in Hanover, in West Haven, dropping off packages and taking 3 elderly patients out, as well as dropping off care packages to disabled children and people, again, who are in high vulnerability based on their characteristics. There is so much more that needs to be done. So I know there are persons who are listening who are saying, listen, but my family is here, my family is there. We have limited capacity, but we're also focusing on expanding that capacity. So we are working with our partners in the U.S. to move from the helicopters that we use only, which is the Bell 429, to include now in the fleet that is being utilized the 2 Chinooks from the U.S. and the 3 Black Hawks. Together, we will be able to do a total of 22 drops per day when we use all of the helicopters, weather permitting. Right. So we're focused on ensuring that our operations are targeted, and simultaneously we have our partners in the HAC, which is the Humanitarian Assistance Committee, World Food Program, ADPEM, MOCA, FSP, all of these persons who are either partners or support are coming in to help with the delivery. GEM, Food for the Poor, the delivery, and also the positioning of mobile service units, 6 of which have been positioned across the affected areas so far. Another 8 are coming, and more storage units coming through Food for the Poor. So that will give us greater proximity to the areas, and you should see the speeding up of our ability to deliver packages to persons who need it the most.
Minister, a lot of persons, there seems to be this ongoing contention where a lot of persons feel like other marooned areas are not being spoken about, they're not getting some aid. It just seems like they're forgotten. What would be your response to those people?
But can't we understand it? We can understand it. We're in a disaster, and we can't reach everyone. So those who are not, perhaps we don't have great access to them, I can understand their frustration. So I don't want to make any effort to belittle their concern. I just want to assure them that we hear you, we value you, and we're going to make every effort to make sure that we clear the roads and get to you. So we're using the NWA. Minister Morgan was out yesterday all day on the road. I think he was even clearing roads himself. We're using every effort to clear the roads, to deliver on the ground where we can't use the vehicles. JDF is by foot going to areas that are either marooned or hard to access. And of course, as I said to you, the expanded airlift capacity. We also have to combine that with the efforts of just all Jamaicans. So we have over 30,000 from the HAC committee members, but there are another 30,000 I can estimate from Jamaicans who are just reaching out, and not just to their family, but because they feel what has taken place, and they want to help in the restoration. So thousands of Jamaicans are either sending support to ADTEM or getting up themselves and getting involved. So together, we understand that it is, again, it's not a snap your finger. The process of responding is strategic. And so it's going to take time, which is why we have to prioritize.
Tell me, Minister Charles, the challenge is not about the supply and availability of food and water. What is it? It's about the capacity to get into the areas, the remote parts. What is the biggest challenge?
I think that is the biggest challenge right now, which is the capacity to access areas that have been either marooned, cut off, or blocked. The second thing is that, remember now, if you take, for instance, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, my Westmoreland staff has been massively impacted. I have at least 3 staff members that have lost everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. I have another 8 or 9 staff members that have lost their entire roof, and therefore they've had water damage to everything. I have a staff member in Montego Bay that stayed on the 2nd floor and watched her car drift away while she climbed onto the roof, hoping and praying that she wouldn't be consumed by the water. So they are significantly impacted. So we've had to move staff from other parishes, which then reduces the capacity there. We've had to move staff from overseas. We've had to expand our reach using SDC and other partners. So again, it will take time, but we are an efficient mechanism. We have planned for this. We have trained for this. And we have to really call on everyone to just, I don't want to even use the word to patient, but be understanding. Where there are emergencies, we have set up hotlines, 929500 to 10. For persons with disabilities, we have a WhatsApp line for you to reach out. We have over 110 persons that have reached out so far who are persons with disabilities to get support. And our parish offices, where they are functional, for instance, because our Westmoreland parish office has been decimated, they are also available to you to go there, tell us where your family member is, tell us what the situation is, and we will work to target them and to give them the support.
The committee being formed, the Relief and Recovery Oversight Committee, could you give us some insights as to the specific intervention or management that this committee will play in the efforts?
I think the Prime Minister was contemplating the need for collaboration and coordination. And so he wisely has placed a number of his ministries that have the relevant agencies and the capacity in one group for us to work together to make sure that we have all eyes on reducing the waste, reducing the duplication, and increasing the efficiency and the effectiveness of the delivery of the service. Mind you, it's not just delivering packages. It's also understanding how to connect demand to supply. I'll give you an example. Water Green, which is a community in Catherine Hall, when you go in there, you might bring 100 packages. What they really need is clean water and also water to wash the mud out of the homes. So a lot of what this committee is doing now is taking the data and processing it in an analytical way to make sure that our interventions are not just seen as charity, but that they are strategic. So it's the next phase of the disaster recovery and relief process, moving from the immediate rapid response of just dropping off water, dropping off packages, now to a much more calculated design of a distribution channel, and also efforts that are connected to exactly what is needed per community.
Pernell Charles Jr., the opposition leader, at a media briefing this afternoon, criticized what he calls the ad hoc nature of the response. And he's suggesting that it really shouldn't be in the hands of the political directorate or executive, but the whole effort should be led by the technocrats, the professionals, and a broad-based group of Jamaicans across all sectors of the country. What do you say to that?
Well, he has an opinion. I think that he perhaps needs to evaluate in a more comprehensive way what our approach is, because it does include leadership from the political directorate, but it includes at all levels technocrats, experts that are guiding and leading the processes in terms of the activities taking place on the ground. So the logistics, for instance, is being led by the JDF. They are experts in that regard. And our Prime Minister, in his wisdom again, has already directed his cabinet and the committee to identify international expertise that will be integrated into what we're doing, again, to improve and to boost the management of the processes. ODPEM is not just an agency. It's an agency that has been specifically and uniquely trained and designed for this kind of effort. And technocrats, those experts, are a part of every committee, and they are the ones that are guiding us in terms of the decisions that are made as to where we go, what we do, when we do it, how we do it. We play a role in terms of the leadership, in terms of the communication to the country, and of course the larger decisions to make sure that the entire world has a chance to contribute to the process of this national effort for recovery.
Mm-hmm. The information minister at the press briefing this morning said that a program is coming. What does that program look like? Is it something like burial? I mean, does it go further given the extent of Melissa's damage?
So those are some of the questions that we are assessing now. I would imagine that it would be similar in its outcome, which is to make sure that we're providing support to persons that is going to be substantive and to assist them to restore themselves. But I wouldn't want to venture down into the details until we have a better understanding of the landscape. I'm telling you something. My community, Rocky Point Division particularly, was massively impacted by burial. In Melissa, we have at least 2 homes totally destroyed. We have maybe a couple houses where the roofs were torn off, but nothing. It pales in comparison to what has taken place in the West. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I could say to you that the exact or a replica of the burial response will be sufficient. Mm-hmm. So we have to wait. We get the support and the assistance from the experts, and we will design something that is within our capacity, and that really reflects the value that the government places on the people.
Yeah. And are you going to consider in that mix of policies a specific program for roofing?
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, that was a part of the burial response, particularly with the Global Empowerment Mission and Food for the Poor. They were the 2 primary stakeholders and partners that focused on roofing, and I imagine that will be implemented and effected as soon as possible. So, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as it relates to timeline, because, we understand the government has been asking for understanding and patience, but as the days go on, these people live with wet furniture with the blue skies above their heads. Do you have any timeline as to when the assessment will be done so we can start seeing some major relief now as it relates to rebuilding?
Let me hasten to tell you this. It has to be right now. And I know that that's a very broad, response.
Right now, next week? Week after next?
We are doing everything we can right now, meaning where we can get persons to shelters that are active, we get them there because their shelter has been destroyed. Where persons can be moved to family or friends elsewhere, we support that and we give that support for persons to come into the spaces and assist their family members. But it is difficult, and it would not be appropriate, I think, for me to give a timeline without having a proper assessment of the full landscape, because the reality is that it's going to heavily depend not only on our assets and our capacity, but on what the real situation is on the ground when the water recedes. Mm-hmm. So the effort for us is as soon as possible, and once we are able to give concrete timelines, we will be quick to let the country know.
Minister Charles Jr., as of this moment, what is the official death toll?
I don't know. I don't know the specific numbers, but I can tell you it is painfully too much. And when we're honest with you, Cliff, I am very concerned of what we may see when the water recedes. So,
what we may see?
When the water recedes, there are still places where there's significant water logs.
Right.
It's more than I would have expected. But I only pray that we don't have a situation where the death toll increases.
Yeah. I was just speaking with a family member in Westmoreland, and he said to me that what they're learning on the ground in Westmoreland, a little district by the name of McAlpin, and the word on the ground there is that 30 people are missing, cannot be accounted for.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I'll tell you something. I went to the hospital this week with my son. He had an incident, and a different incident. Anyway, went to the hospital, and I'm reaching there. The porter stopped me and said, "Minister, I lost my sister." I said, "What do you mean he lost his sister?" He lost his sister in Westmoreland to the hurricane. Mm-hmm. He also can't find two of his cousins. So, you see, this is the lit reality for so many persons. This hurricane has hit Westmoreland, but it has impacted all Jamaicans, whether they are here or in the diaspora. Yeah. I have persons in the diaspora calling me, crying, because they cannot get in touch with their family members. So it's a serious impact. We pray for the country, and we're going to work as hard as we can, night and day, make sure that we can recover.
Yeah. Colonel Charles Jr. is the Minister of Labour and Social Security and Member of Parliament for South East Clarendon. Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you.
This is Nationwide at 5.
The Pink Run, a corporate wellness challenge, encourages physical activity, healthy eating, and age-appropriate health checks. Remember, early detection saves lives. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
2 minutes after 7 o'clock.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Cliff says,
is by far the most popular mid-morning radio segment in Jamaica. Cliff Hughes shares his views on the hot-button topics of the day, editorializing on various issues in the news, breaking news stories, and expounding on stories. Cliff Says sets the tone of the show for the rest of the day. Join the award-winning journalist Cliff Hughes weekdays during Cliff Hughes Online at 10 to 10:30 a.m. Join the revolution in media.
Cliff Says is brought to you by Educom Credit Union, providing value through service, and Hyundai, modern premium affordable vehicles.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
I'm Said Bernard.
Well, the opposition also had a media briefing today, and it called for what it described as a more broad-based, inclusive task force to oversee the relief effort after Hurricane Melissa. The opposition leader, Mark Golding, used the briefing to highlight areas of concern about the current approach to the relief effort. Golding says there can be no place for partisan politics in the response to the national disaster.
The opposition must not at this time be seeking to score political points as a political competitor of the government. This is not the time for the opposition to adopt that posture. And we are indeed trying our very best to operate in the spirit of that. On the other hand, we must point out where there are areas of need and what we see as the priorities in relation to those needs, where we see weaknesses in the response mechanisms that need strengthening or correcting, and we must provide, where we can, constructive, well-intentioned suggestions to help navigate the country through this disaster. We must also demand transparency and fairness in the distribution of all relief. The relief must get to those who need it, prioritizing those who need it most, whether they be of whatever political color or whatever demographic group they may belong to. They are all Jamaicans, and they are to be treated equally in this time without any form of discrimination or tribal politics coming into it. And we want to stand for that. There can be no place for partisanship or profiteering by political insiders or others connected to them at a time like this. It requires good governance, inclusive governance, authentic communication, and everyone working together. I now move to some of the things that I wish to propose in this regard. I have proposed to the Prime Minister from last week, Wednesday, that he should establish a broad-based task force to be given the responsibility of governance oversight over the relief effort, the relief coming in, how it is dealt with, how it is distributed, not to manage that process on a day-to-day basis, but to provide oversight to those who are managing it. So there's some accountability for how it's done, and that accountability is being held by a broad-based group that can enjoy the support and confidence of the whole society, especially those who are suffering terribly now and no doubt fear that they may not be treated fairly or they may be ignored or overlooked in the response of the state to the crisis. I also think there needs to be a clear command structure for the actual day-to-day management of the response to the relief. And that should be led, in my opinion, by professionals in disaster management, not by politicians who do not know the ins and outs of responding to a disaster of this magnitude. And we should not be shy of seeking international support and help from persons who have career expertise and experience in this regard. Thirdly, we're going to need a Marshall Plan, well-funded, broad-based plan for the rebuilding and reconstruction of large swathes of Jamaica which have been ravaged by this hurricane. That plan cannot be developed today, but it is vital that we prepare such a plan and that it have the inputs of persons who have the necessary skills and experience and knowledge to design a comprehensive, workable plan that can be executed efficiently and that can have the confidence of our international partners we are going to rely on heavily to provide the financial support for this.
Mark Golding, the opposition leader, speaking at a media briefing he called this afternoon.
And Northeast St. Elizabeth MP Zulika Jess says to date no government representative has reached out to her despite the devastation and suffering in her constituency.
There has been quite a lot of attention being paid to southern St. Elizabeth. Unfortunately, northeastern St. Elizabeth has been left devastated by the passage of Hurricane Melissa. It has been almost 1 week since the hurricane, and regrettably, not one government official has actually visited northeastern St. Elizabeth. Now, this is a constituency that has been ravaged. We're talking about entire communities that have lost their roofs, lost their homes. Communities such as Thornton, Windsor, in the Silo area, Bagdale Mountain. There are entire communities where absolutely no home was spared. When you look at the devastation, we're not just talking about it from the home perspective. We're talking about the road network, or roads, especially in the interior of the constituency, have been substantially and completely damaged. We have roads which have burst open, leaving craters almost 20 feet deep. I have communities which have been marooned. There's no way for them to enter or exit. I have residents reaching out to me to say that they can't get out of their community, and they have elderly persons who need to see a doctor and they can't leave. I went in search of a community yesterday known as Mariba, and I spent over 2 hours driving around and could not find the community of Mariba. I say all of this to say to you that the devastation has been extremely great in northeastern St. Elizabeth. And as a member of parliament, I have reached out to the government for assistance in getting persons who are marooned access so that they can actually leave their communities or enter elsewhere. I have been told by the government that as a member of parliament, I cannot engage with private contractors to have their roads cleared or to have their roads put in a place where they can leave or enter their community. And so I have been faced with a difficult decision where I have to choose whether I obey the rules as they currently stand, in which case it means that residents will be left stranded and trapped and unable to leave, even in cases of emergency. People will not be able to have access to food, water, or I make the other difficult decision, which is to go against the government's dictates and actually engage contractors to put together the roadway as best as possible so that access can be had. I have chosen the latter. And so I hope and I pray that the government will actually make some allocation available to members of parliament in the affected constituencies.
That's Zulika Jess, the Member of Parliament for Northeastern St. Elizabeth. Similarly, South St. James MP Nikisha Burchell says the efforts of relief have yet to reach her constituency.
I speak not only as a person reading or hearing about what's happening in South St. James and in Jamaica, but as someone from South St. James who was on the ground from Wednesday. I left the constituency last night this morning at 2 a.m. to be a part of this press conference. because as the chief spokesperson for the people of South St. James, to enter the constituency, traditionally we use 5 different routes. We have only been able to clear one route into South St. James, and that is through Long Hill to Anchovy Mafuta, Barnet Bush to take you up to Garland's, Moko, Maroon Town, or you go right at Fern, Plum, Cambridge to go as far as you can until you're stopped by downed power lines, poles, landslides, and rivers. Yes, the 7 Rivers has taken the road we have in the Bickerstead Copperwood plantation area. We still have communities that are marooned and do not have access to food. And when I say no access to food, what I mean is that when we advised them to go to a shelter like the shelter at Cambridge High School, we told them that we were advised by the government that food would come after the storm, which was a mistake because some went in from as early as Monday of last week and they have not had food up till now. We were able to send a little boat across, a little blow-up boat across the roadway to get to some, and they got food for one night because the boat couldn't hold much more. We have seen the helicopters flying in the sky above us in South St. James, but most times they're going to St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland. They're going to the sexy places where disaster grief is big profit and big public relations opportunities. In South St. James, we're farmers, we're humble people. We don't like to beg, but I'm appealing on our behalf because we need urgently food for our people who are marooned in places like Catadupa, in Jungle, in Awful Gully. We're calling for help for people in Retrieve, where we join Eastern Westmoreland because they were only able to get their dead out of the community just 2 days ago. We're asking to have the health authorities come in because the cows are still floating, goats are still floating in the waters that have taken and submerged communities like Spring Bottom in the Roehampton area. 2-story high houses are still underwater. We have a coaster bus, you know the height of that is still submerged along the roadway to Cambridge. Based on my estimation, over 70% of the housing stock, the business, the livestock, the agriculture has been lost in South St. James. And when I go to the community, I don't know what to say to them because they ask me, MP, you see my house, it was right here, it's no longer here, what do? I tell them that I have not yet gotten a word from the government, right? To tell us how we're gonna help them to rebuild and to get their lives back together, right? So we're not asking because we are greedy. We're asking because the collaboration and the coordination on the ground is not reaching our people in South St. James. When I'm able to bring 2 bags of food like I did last night to the school at Malden High, they were not able to make breakfast this morning because it could only last 1 day. I'm asking you to help us to airlift some food into the communities to get the sick people out of the homes and into the hospital. We have some pregnant mothers. We were able to get to the hospital at Cornwall Regional just yesterday. Her baby was not moving anymore in her belly, right? We have an urgent need in South St. James, and I know everybody is trying. All I'm asking is don't forget South St. James in all of this, because we are proud farmers and we want to get back with our lives, but we need the donations to come to us too. We don't want to stay left behind because we're deep rural.
That's Nikicho Burchell, the Member of Parliament for South St. James.
And the Member of Parliament for South East St. Catherine and spokesman, the opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, was also at that media briefing, and he says, as things stand, the government is on track to compound the tragedy of Watts Melissa.
If we continue on this path where the government maintains hegemony over the distribution of aid and access to the most vulnerable communities by volunteers. If they try to do it alone, we will have an even more catastrophic man-made disaster. We are seeing a humanitarian crisis unfold before our very eyes. Ground Zero was in eastern Westmoreland, a parish that I'm very familiar with, and the devastation that is seen there and in St. Elizabeth and in other parts of Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, and St. Elizabeth overall. It is mind-boggling. No pictures or videos can do justice for what you see when you're driving miles and miles. The smells of rotting carcasses, the flooded roads. Healthcare has been teetering on the border of collapse because of the situation at Cornwall Regional Hospital and the overcrowding in the feeder hospitals. What we are seeing now is an exacerbation of that situation, where Lucy Hospital, Noel Holmes Hospital, is pretty much non-functional. Up to over the weekend, there was no way of contacting hospitals for referrals. They would just get critical patients as fast as possible loaded into an ambulance and send them off with a hope and a prayer and what limited staff they can afford to send on that journey. The Black River Hospital has been devastated, and Salvamar Hospital, they have major infrastructural challenges, but even more so, the staff, they are also homeless. They are also living out of cars. Many of them are hungry, and many persons cannot provide health care because they do not have the resources. We appreciate that the government has now opened the NHS stores and has started to send out supplies. But we must not be fooled into thinking that a field hospital being set up means that it is an appropriate response to a catastrophe of this nature. A hospital is secondary care. There is no primary care in any of the affected parishes at the moment. This means that the clinics are closed. It means that diabetics, hypertensives, persons with heart disease, kidney disease, those who have a diabetic foot ulcer, they are not being treated. And it means that they are going to have exacerbations and complications of their diseases. And already we are seeing where those who have access to the hospitals have been flooding the hospitals. We will see in the ensuing weeks an increase in mosquito-borne diseases. Within 6 weeks, we can expect outbreaks of dengue and whatever else is lying around, waiting for these appropriate conditions to manifest. The public health inspectors, they need to be empowered immediately so that they can start their food safety checks. They can inspect for water sources that they are potable, they have not been contaminated. Basic materials such as food, temperature, thermometers must be provided. We must increase vector control activities immediately. And this is not just fogging, but source control. Otherwise, we're going to see a massive outbreak of dengue.
That's Dr. Alfred Dawes, the Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine and the opposition spokesman on health. He was speaking today at the opposition's media briefing.
It's 21 minutes after 7. After the break, we're going to go to Trelawney to give you a snapshot of what's happening there as well. This is Nationwide at 5.
Jamaica's poverty rate has dropped from 16.7% to 8.2%. As the government's economic program begins to pay off, our country is heading towards sustained growth. We are building Jamaica. The time by the office of the Prime Minister is
22 minutes after 7 o'clock.
We are the best at what we do. At Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, we supply hose fittings and tools. We guarantee we can't be beaten when price and quality are combined. You brand us the Hose and Tool Boss because we deliver the most effective industrial solutions. Come in and experience the joy of shopping with Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. Call us 876-923-3936 or visit 173 Hagley Park Road, 2 Charlesworth Crescent or Montego Bay Trade Center. Hose Assembly and Supply Limited. More than just hoses. Now open every Sunday.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales.
They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. APC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. APC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Well, it's 23 minutes after 7. It's a tale of tragedy and resilience. The people of Trelawney picking up the pieces and moving forward following the extensive damage done by Hurricane Melissa. The parish is one of several which faced the brunt of the unprecedented hurricane which swept over the western part of the island early last week. Nationwide's Siobhan Campbell visited parts of northern Trelawney on Friday. A fisherman, Levi Williams, from the community of Cherry Park, told him that most, if not all, of the houses are now without roofing. He says he's simply thankful to be alive.
We are in Duncan's Trelawney, down here in the western part of Jamaica.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm holding my phone right now. No service on our way here. A lot of downed power lines, a lot of downed cables across the roads. We saw quite a few houses, businesses just destroyed. I would say that it's here in Duncan's itself, it's not as bad as some of the scenes that we've seen coming out of like St. Elizabeth and other areas. But we have a gentleman here. I don't know if you want to give us your name.
Yeah, man. My name Levi Williams, man. Them call me Zion, otherwise them call me Jesus, fisherman.
Well, Levi, just tell us, because you're telling me that although it don't look so terrible here, there are some places that are just horrible, devastating.
Yeah, man, like Cherry Park, which part me live. House that them gone, road block, a destruction down there, we need help. Light gone, everything gone. Water gone, everything gone. You know, some people do things outside, a door, and have no kitchen, pan their house, no toilet, pan their house. I tell you, my brother, it dread.
Oh dear. So please tell me, because I see people going about their business and trying to get along with their lives. Are you having any difficulties in terms of securing water, food, or any of those essentials?
Yeah, man. Only for difficulty. Because the first thing what I know, some people like me, I know. Me bad not too bad. Some people now not to store water, you know. So all them people, you know how it go. When the rain is falling, and you have nowhere to go, you know how you feel, my brother? It dread.
So tell me, Levi, you're a fisherman and we were just talking. What were you doing during the storm? Where were you sheltering and how was the situation?
All right, watch I know. Me and my grandson in my house. I'm a watch when the breeze lift it up. I'm a say, Ja, holy car. Normally, me tell the people them say me name God. But me no mean God that create no heaven or no earth, you know. Me a God of myself. Alright. So when the second puff come and lift it, me say Rasta holy, you know. So when the third puff come, me say Daniel. It dread, you know. I look through the door, you know. And see what they go on over the douche, you know. Just when me look through the door, and douche house stop. Me see in the ear I go astray, you know. Me said, Ja, wolf for me now, because tomorrow morning, them all laugh after me and say, me say me name God. How for me all stop gone? And me sit down in and say, Daniel, hold our meditation now. And me and me down, hold the meditation. And it rise again when it go away, you know. It come back, you know. Just when it come back, me have one pastor brother who live next door me, you know. And me always criticize him part. What you call it now? The God thing, right? Yeah. And team house a deck house, you know. And my house a zinc house. And I say, Daniel, watch it now, you know. Yeah, woo. We come out the door, you know, the whole of we outside a chat, you know. And we hear, woo, woo, woo. We say, We are going back. You see when you're going back? That time Mother Nature don't show we say, man, be still. And me run creation. And you see it comes again, put the house stop. Me have one friend, you know, where me, I. Me have one friend, you know, where me are always upon the gospel side. She worship Jesus. Me say, a nature. And when it come again, me say, Mother Nature, Father Time, hold it, you know. Because I don't want my friend say, for me God feel, you know. And for me God, holy, you know. And me say, yes, Rasta. It gone now. And we in there until come out the door now. You say me come out the door. At that time, me see say judgment outside.
So it was just that bad.
Man, oh, zinc fly like you ever see aeroplane as I go to Cuba, so you see zinc flying up. And so you see raptor flying. Yeah, a judgment this man.
But you seem to be in good spirits though.
Yeah man, cause you know say Rasta never get weary. I never get tired. So the faith.
So what brings you out here today? You tell
All
me
right,
you're fishing,
all right.
and I see you
Yeah,
have some.
all right, watch I know. I saw some fishing at this, you know. Now go boil some water now. And my thermos me carry with some oats. And go up on the beach because I know say my boat good as get. And the fish pot them. So what me do now, me have some wire down there. Me just go and cut out 2 pot and go and knit up. So me say right now me I get hungry now. I go and go boil them 2 fish here. So I say come my brother.
Ras Levi. Yeah, speaking with Siobhan Campbell. Well, another resident, Nikisha, told Siobhan it's a second chance to start all over. She says she knows the government is doing all it can.
It's not so overwhelming, so I'm just grateful that we're alive, but it is stressful. And just for the other people that lose house, car, everything, I know it's hard for them.
We're out here on the main at Duncan's where, I mean, I'm looking around, the things, you see a few knocked down like signs and places, but nothing untoward in terms of devastation.
Okay, so for Duncan's Hill, this is Duncan's Hill. It is not so bad. We didn't lose any light posts. Even though we're out of light, it's because it's already turned off before the storm. But Falmouth, like, it is really bad. When I said bad from a scale to 100, it's 100. So that's where most of the damage are. That's where everybody lost their house and stuff like that.
Okay, so do you have any family outside of here that you're not being able to get in contact with?
Oh, well, my family, they're in Clarendon. So
Another area that kind of got a lot of trouble.
Yes,
Have you heard
yes.
anything from them?
Yes, I heard that they are not so bad.
Okay, so they're doing well.
I should think so.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So do you have anything you want to ask for, any message you'd like to send out to the government or other Jamaicans in terms of how things are here?
All right. So we're going to use human thinking. We would want help from my government, yes. But I also know him cannot do everything. So everybody have to just step out. Who can go with a machete to just try cut trees, whatever you can do to help. But for him, I'm going to assume that he's already trying. And I know his heart is breaking to see this because I see the copter, I see everything. I think he's trying to do something, but try harder, Mr. Prime Minister. Just try harder. And I do sympathize with you. I know it's not easy for you as well to see us like this. So all we have to do is just come together again as a nation because we can do this. We can come back again. Once there is life, there is hope.
Okay, thank you so much. And I hope everything works out.
It will. It will. With God help, it will. Because in everything, it was him who spared our lives. So we can do it again.
That's Nikisha Golding, having some high spirits there. She's a Prime Minister. I know it break your heart to see like this. And I know you're trying, but you're going to have to try harder. But I understand, but just try harder. I mean, I don't think she could put those sentiments any better. Huh? In Duncan's Square, commerce has returned just days after the hurricane, despite no light, no water, and of course no telephone lines. A farmer from Clarendon, he told Siobhan that he was in Trelawney to ply his goods to aid in rebuilding.
My name is Wilbert George Gray from Kellis Clarendon, Mason River District. My daughter have a little, two little restaurants down Montego here when delivering things. And them order the goods them from him, but the restaurants them blow down.
Oh dear.
So we come out here and buy a little gas and park off, see if we can make a little change.
Okay, so you're just trying to sell
buy
off
food.
these goods.
Yeah, we have these two little baby with us. Come here, boy. Is we and them travel.
Okay.
Grand them.
So the initial plan never worked out, so you're just trying to make the best
See if
of
we
what
can
we
buy
can.
with food to go back home.
Okay, that's fair. So how are things down in Kellett?
Well, up there rough. Storm blow off my house there. And then we get my couple sheet I zinc nail on, but three we have to sleep in one little room. For the things damaged. But these goods I know we buy them from last week before the storm. So that's why we have them now.
So you need to sell them off as quickly as possible.
Yes, as quick as possible.
So considering the things, what happened during this hurricane? Were you able to find proper shelter?
Well, me couldn't go to no shelter. Where we live, no shelter, no there. So. We live in the hills, the border of St. Anne's. And then we have to head in our little house. So the little bathroom deck off, and the wash, and the where you hang up your clothes, wardrobe. So under there, so we go. But that's how deck off with concrete, but the zinc part blow off. So some guy did $10,000. And he help with sawtrees on zinc, and people take with some of the zinc them and nail on back and some.
Okay. So all things considered, why are you out here? I understand so you need to make your living, but why not wait a few days? Why you have to come out here so immediately after the storm?
You know, we did order the goods did order, and one of the place call we, them have phone. And tell we say as soon as we could come with you, and we find that the road clear a little, comes Claremont, St. Anne's, and Brownstown, and come down Discovery Bay, we go and give them it. But we just carry everything that the other place them top blow off, so them not buy. So
they're not able to open business, they're not able to?
No, nothing now.
All right. So just tell me, sir, if there any appeal you want to make to anyone outside of Falmouth and outside of Clarendon, because obviously there's very little communication going on because of the lines and power being down. Is there anything you want, a message you want to get out?
Well, anytime we leave here, we're going back to Clarendon, but we can't go tonight. I see, we carry two kids and we have bedding at the van around the sheet and something where them can take a rough sleep. And then tomorrow, we see what can do. But tomorrow is Saturday, and then we take time. We park before the police station and get a little cult and then.
So do you think you'll be okay, all things considered?
Yes, man, we are okay, man. God is good, man. God save our life and we give thanks for that.
And life is enough.
And life is enough.
Okay.
More than money.
Wilbert Gray, a resident of Clarendon, plying his trade in Trelawney, speaking with Siobhan. Yeah? And the last part of that interview, he's still resilient and hopeful. Yeah? Life is with us.
Yeah.
Another man from Falmouth Gardens this time, Chester, despite all he has lost, he remains hopeful about the future.
What are you doing?
I'm Chester Anderson, and I'm okay. I have been through the storm, or the hurricane, and I got my roof damaged, and a lot of water came in. It's one in all my 70-odd years. This is one of the worst hurricanes that I've experienced. And as you see, all the roofs in Falmouth Gardens have been damaged, and it's going to take some fixing. You can see on the background here, we started cleaning the road, but we still need some more support because we are not really that equipped with what it takes to do it properly. So we haven't seen anything like, I'm told the water is just coming back, but as you know, the light won't be back for a while. Because the transformer that feeds us, it's on the ground. Our telecommunication system has been badly damaged. All the lines are on the ground. And we are hoping that we would have started seeing something positive already, although it's early time yet. But we are hoping that in short order, the support that is needed to get our infrastructure back on stream will be up and going, you know.
Oh, okay. So where specifically here do you live?
I live at that house with the top.
The blue one there with the tarpaulin on top of it?
Right.
So you lost your roof too?
Right. It's not totally blown off, but the fiber shingle that keeps the water off, that is all blown off. So I put one tarpaulin on this side, and I'm trying to get another one for the other side because I have two of those issues.
So you're trying to just make the best of the situation.
Right, that's right. Realizing that this is not normal times, right? You know, this water is just coming back.
Okay, but at least thank God for small mercies.
Right.
But tell me, sir, under the circumstances, is there any specific appeal you want to make? Is there anything that you need, like right now, just to get by?
For me, I would love to have some, just to get by, water, right? Maybe a generator if that's not asking too much. Right?
I can understand.
A generator would help to keep my food on the fridge, refrigerated, so we could buy some meat kind and all of that. What we have been doing now is using a lot of sardine and things that are not perishable. But for me, I would love to have a generator.
Okay. So you say you're 70-year-old, so you're retired now. What were you?
No,
what did you?
I'm 73 years old.
73 years old.
Right.
And you're retired?
I used to be a technical trainer for the whole company.
For JPS, that's interesting. So you understand the circumstances around here and that
so
this is going to probably take some time.
It will take a while, right? What I think they are doing right now is gathering the data because they must have the data so that they can now start the actual repairing. So the data should be collected now because I've had the experience during Gilbert when I was the supervisor in Falmouth. And that hurricane, it didn't take all the roof, but the electrical infrastructure was badly damaged. And I had to play a major part in bringing back the supply. So it would take some time now for them to gather, and then they would now want to target the most important areas, for instance, the health sector. Right? They would want to get back power to the hospital and power to the water supply for now. Right? And then get it back to the wider community.
Under the circumstances, you seem to have a very good in-depth knowledge of what is going to be required, and you understand the time it's going to take. I'm surprised by your patience considering your loss and the circumstances. What fuels that?
Well, I have learned to not stress myself out too much over things. Right? And if I should put all of what happened on my little head, then we know we'll go crazy. So we start to put things at the back and try to go through. I started this when everybody sat back and looked as if they don't know where to start. I started trying to clear the road, get a power saw, and we started cutting down. And then by the time I started, people came out and then started moving the stuff that were cut. And then we see people on the roofs trying to fix the roof. So I've actually triggered the whole movement.
So one step at a time, piece by piece.
Right.
All right, thank you, sir.
I know it won't happen like
overnight.
Right, but we are hoping that things will happen shortly.
Okay, thank you, sir, and all the best, and stay safe, and we hope you get the help that you require as soon as possible.
Right, I'm hoping so too. Right.
Chester Anderson, a resident of Falmouth Gardens in Trelawney, speaking with Siobhan Campbell. And it's fascinating to hear these stories. Yes, at the same time, sad.
Yeah.
How people's lives are being disrupted and have been, in some instances, severely set back. Well, that was in Trelawney. We were also in Westmoreland. This time, Shalois Michael, she visited parts of Westmoreland on Sunday where she saw miles of landslides, fallen trees, flooded streets, toppled utility poles, and roofless buildings. At the parish border, a glimmer of hope emerged as residents sold fish from broken stalls, trying to get off their hands what had been frozen before the power went. One vendor, who lost 2 houses, says it's the community's strength that keeps him going.
My name is LJ. I'm from Foster Grove, right around there.
Walk me through what it was when the storm hit. Just describe it.
Walk you through. I'm not even over describe this. It's terrible, bad. So I did meds and I easy and I watch a little storm come over and same time I did it. Just one little breeze come. I say, I want a person when I have run out in a storm go save. Ah baby, I tell you. We just sit down and watch the 2 hosts stop them gone. Cause I rent out one of them give one of my friend them. That the one they gone, it lean up on my other house round the back. And then the front house now, my grandmother and there. Somebody are fret on the way them and say, alright, I see what can go out. I say, this is not nothing now, man. They come like say, this is not it's not hurricane, it's a tornado. This is not no hurricane thing. Nothing. I tell you, boy. Every time I talk about it, I go back on my house. None of them go back and look on. Not even one. Right up and down and back. Come out there, so I go back up on my house. None of them.
What was your experience in the storm?
Experience? Deadly. To watch people just a bawl and a scream, baby confused. Mother, I cry for son because son they a different place from them. Grandfather with Pitney. I tell her my grandmother could walk. She be the mostly afraid over still because if I did it for try, make sure I can move her as soon as the storm slow down. But otherwise, that's the only thing I have to say she alright still. I mostly she I'm worried about my little sister and my little brother. Because my other people I'm not there, so my mother not there, and my little younger brother I'm not there neither. So I just mostly like my mother, me worry about still. Nothing like honestly because she can't move. She's in her 60s, so she can't move, none at all. So she mostly everything. I tell her.
So were you prepared like beforehand? Did you batten down? Did you do anything?
Yeah, we do look at batten still, but we are say like Beryl, Beryl pass through, we are say alright, Beryl just blew and rock losing them and nothing gone. But boy, this is going to come back because like a 2-star now and this you go uphill, and if you say done the next round, oh God man, the 2 was them flat man. Flat.
And it's been about 5 days now since it. How has it been on you emotionally and your mental health?
Emotionally, tell you the honest truth. Maybe I just not even go on my yard, otherwise I'm just step on the roadside and drink, cook, laugh with one another. Because one little spring bus out where we have to do it. And I try to keep things safe and just meds. Because if you meds, I go bed everything when I last. Because right now my brand new bed set. 200, I don't want to talk about it either. Nothing I want to talk about over this. Because everything wreck. No house in my community is safe unless it's concrete. Everybody around my place homeless. Everyone I'm nigga them homeless. Everybody homeless.
And this is where you work now?
Yeah, this is where we usually work. This
talk to me about here.
Hey, as you can see, it was here but it's not here anymore. Stall them did pretty and everything. Right now we just have to take a little time and move out. I got make nothing to do with fridge them if we store fridge. Otherwise we don't have no fish to sell. So we are trying to get rid of them now so they don't spoil. Because if they spoil, a big loss is way. Because a whole heap of money spent by them. They may always say also how we have left and remain as how we save. Now for we closeless. Good friend can go and say boom and then give me a brand new suit. Not even brand new clothes they have to take out give me because they can't give me the I laugh about the worst times. I'm not telling you like. All thing me just happy say my family good, all of my friends them good. Me have life. That's the main thing.
May have life. I mean, and you recognize, he starts to talk about the devastation and say, no, I'm not going to want to talk about it.
Can't deal with that.
Yeah. And another man also suffered similar loss, and he opened his home to 2 other families despite.
He took a part of my house, a zinc and slab. So he zinc my grave because he would know. And yet, me have to take in other families. Because right now, me and my wife and my daughter and my granddaughter, and me taking 2 other family of 4. So in our family bedroom, me have an next family of 4 in it. And in my daughter room, there's another family of 4 in it. So, and those that I take in is my nieces and their kids. The house that in front of my house, is my father's house. He is a family house, so me have sisters and nieces living in it. That one completely, a whole roof gone. Behind me, me have a brother, his house gone. And another brother, his roof gone. A sister, her house gone completely. 2 nieces, their house gone. 3 nieces, their house gone complete. And another niece, our just a roof gone. But on my plot of land alone, we lose about 9 houses.
And another resident in White House out there in eastern Westmoreland, he says, his house started to fall apart.
State your name.
Right, Bromfield.
So tell me about this storm. What was your experience?
Well, the experience about the storm, sir. We say me inside. We don't see no lightning now. One time it's one lightning, you know. And after me did it, one time I see the rain. Until I'm just tell that blow down one time I'm in my house. I sit down by my brother and my uncle and say, you know, say, we have an old time back house, they want to have a first brick way. And it's when you see it gone, I see my brother one flat. When look at him, my uncle one day about 5 years again, he's gone again. When look at the child, gone. Now, we won't go one woman come to do and women in the bad. I say, I have to run from a room, very women go to window, the women go to window, and I can't get out, you know. I'm saying, I can't tell them, feel the concrete out, shake. Enough concrete out there, I would blow down.
So, how did you feel?
I'm saying, I can't tell from my imagination how others people and all I hate them and others. We can't go strong on them, you understand? But my house is in prayer by sea. But me full of my job. Everything, you know. My son me up to an giant. Right now, I started taking out one part of the house that me sleeping at under. The night we not take it. So me ask him, grab him one can with the full white out, you know.
So was this the worst experience of?
Well, this is the worst experience. It's 69 December, I come and save down, this is the worst.
It's the worst. You have never seen anything like that?
No, part 1. And you see that one in part 2, my brother? Beryl and the other one, and Gilbert. So, I just look out half a tail end for this man. But it's when the sun come out, my boss. When I tell me son come out, I'm yes, Jesus. Everything alright. Oh, I just always see house of fly. Right now, it's supposed to fly down the Pigeon Bank.
You think so?
You fly past all the areas, I mean, it's not easy, because fly down all the areas. You know, say down the Pigeon Bank, but to have fly me on the side, you know? But, you know, no, you see like we are looking out there. But you see them concrete, there's probably the whole of them top down and sweeping up all about us here. And plus, whole of the board, you total crew, man. You come out of my way, you have to approach church. What time can you do that? Never experience this yet. Never ever see it. We are alive. And I will be you. What the place is about. A food.
So I see you got some package here, man.
Yes, and me have food, silver, me have bread food and plant.
Yeah.
And make sure you know when they write my roast them.
Lloyd Bromfield, he's a resident of White House in eastern Westmoreland, and White House has been devastated. Yes? People are telling me the place is flattened. All of that stretch of coastline, residential communities of eastern Westmoreland, devastated.
And I mean, the common denominator on the bright side is, they all say, well, may have life.
Yeah.
May have life. But
they live to fight another day.
They live to fight another day. And some say, we need the assistance, and some say, listen, we just have to go rebuild a step at a time. We just have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
But I can't help but think about them every time I watch these videos. You see it, and you recognize what they're going through. But I often wonder, they're sitting down in that death of silence, in the heat at times, no electricity, in some cases no water, and dry food. And I just wonder, Cliff, when will they be able to be comfortable once again?
I don't know. I think for most of them, they're not looking for comfort now. They just want to live in a way that at least they can carry on. Yeah. Comfort is a long, long way off for most of them. They just want to be able to get a roof over their heads, be able to cook a meal, to feed themselves, drink a glass of water or lemonade, and to get back to work so that they can continue to put back the pieces of their lives.
Yeah. And for those of you who are going out to Westmoreland to, give help and relief and all of that, if you can stop and buy some of the fish, do that.
Yeah.
Take it off their hands. Take it off their hands. That's another way of helping. But, yeah.
I finally got word from a brother of mine in Westmoreland this afternoon. And been trying to reach him for the last several days. Only heard from him today because he had to leave Westmoreland today to get into Kingston because he just couldn't take it anymore. The roof for the house, gone. Windows, gone. The road to the house, gone. Yeah? It's just, I don't know where are we going to get so much from? Yeah?
Yeah.
To replace the housing stock.
Yeah. Replace all those roofs, windows.
Yes.
Help back the farmers to get back on their feet, to plant again, to get back those roads. I mean, we already had road issues. Big project announced, Project Spark. But that certainly has to take a different shape now. When you look at the devastation of it all. And another thing, Sir Cliff, the schools and the learning loss that comes with that. And getting them back on track for CSEC and CAPE, for example, which is next year, June, July. There's so many moving parts and so many things that have to be considered. Yeah. But on a brighter side, the Global Empowerment Mission, GEM, Michael Capioni, he says rebuilding will be one of the most important phases of recovery from Hurricane Melissa. And GEM's objective is to deliver as much aid to the most devastated people in the fastest way possible. And so he says they plan to they have serviced over 1,000 regions in Ukraine per month, and they'll be looking to reflect that or to, do the same thing out here in Western Jamaica.
I think we have that from the Global Empowerment Mission, Michael Caponi. Caponi.
Yes.
Yes. GEM, founder, that's Global Empowerment Mission.
Yeah. And he was speaking this morning at the OPM briefing. Let's hear from him.
International disaster agency that's operated in 74 countries now throughout the world, inside Gaza, in Ukraine, in war zones, in very complicated places. So we are extremely proud to be partnering with ODPEM and the government of Jamaica. We have a lot of experience in large-scale logistics. So in partnership with ODPEN now, we're working together in just amassing as much supplies as humanly possible from the whole world, including most United States and, especially South Florida, second largest diaspora region, New York City. So a lot of that stuff goes to different fire stations, different, everywhere around the United States. It gets funneled. It ends up at the GEM warehouse, a 60,000 square foot warehouse facility. We've had cargo planes come every single day. We'll keep that going. And then every Friday, we'll ship 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, however many containers on the Friday ship out of Miami to here. Then that comes in, that gets processed through OddPen, and then we work together to basically bring that out to the regions. As a simple example I can give you, in Ukraine, we service currently 1,100 regions per month with over 400 trucks. It takes a long time to get that system set up, but what you do is you set up one hub, one area, then you set up another hub in another area, you set up another hub in another area, and as soon as you have those community hubs, then you have a machine of basically aid flow that's continually going to all those hubs. So this is all under the direction of the government. We're just playing a role and part of it, and we're going to do our very best to assist as much as we can in this. Is the second most important phase, but if not the most important phase, which will be the rebuilding. So our agency, in partnership with the National Commerce Bank, with IOM, we had repaired roughly 724 roofs last time around Treasure and Clarendon. This time, it's not 11,000 roofs that are going to be destroyed. It might be 50,000 roofs or more that are destroyed. So we're just going to have the same system scaled by 10. And that's basically what we're here to do. We're here for the long haul, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's Michael Capone, the founder of Global Empowerment Mission, GEM. That's where we're going to leave it for today. I want to say thanks to our producer, Dana Davey, our technical operator, Andrew Anderson, members of the news and production team led by Cara Powell. I'm Cliff Hughes.
I'm Said Bernard.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.
Creative Building Finishes is celebrating 25 years of transforming